No, 5. Sugar. Good job, guys. 5. 22 minutes.
22 minutes left.
На сборах были 3 недели, приехали. Опасность, конечно, если человек чемпион на какой-то вес, особенно у нас в организации, там таких проходных не бывает, так что подходит.
JDM did an interview just, I think, this week, and he broke down that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Bilal's because Islam has more of a traditional style for his stand-up. Do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand-up. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no, don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different.
No. 5. Sugar. Good job, guys. 22 minutes left. 22 minutes left. 22 minutes. JDM did an interview just I think this week, and he broke down that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Balls because Islam has more of a traditional style for his stand-up. Do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking? If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story because, I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, there's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on stand-up. Guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So, no, don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that, man, it's a whole different ballgame. Khabib Nurmagomedov made of his return to the training camp as coach for Islamic's upcoming title fight in the welterweight division against JDM at UFC 322. Khabib was seen busy helping his students including Islam and Usman to make them ready for their upcoming fights. Left, but it was 4 rounds, but we have to do this 22-minute tour 111-minute. However, Islam Makhachev believes that Della Maddalena would be a difficult challenge after seeing how well he performed against Bal Muhammad. He remembered Jack's early struggles with wrestling but noted the progress he had made by working with high-level grapplers. Islam called Jack a dangerous championship-level fighter, but added that their matchup would quickly reveal who the top man in the sport really was. What do you think? He's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here. Yeah, it's going to be a hard fight. Honestly, it's going to be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He's good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he have problem with the wrestling. But now he's improved because I see training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world. Yeah, very soon. Very soon, and it's going very quick. Islam also confessed that moving up in weight had been tougher than expected since he was so used to cutting rather than adding size. Despite extra lifting and a tailored plan, he said he had only gained a couple of kilos. He explained that he wasn't interested in bulking up through overeating, but preferred to add muscle through strict training so he could stay strong the right way. I will try to be big. You know, it's not easy, man. All my life I cut weight, but now when I want to be big, my weight is stay same position, you know. I try to lift more. We do some program and like slowly we brings 2 kilograms right now. But I don't want to be big by food, you know, eating and not training. I want to be with like muscles, you know. I want to training and bring some muscles. At a recent press conference, Makhachev talked about adjusting to welterweight. He shared that he used to stay around 183 to 185 pounds before camp, but with better training and diet, he now holds steady near 189. He said this weight allows him to feel powerful and sharp when sparring natural welterweights and emphasized that adding more bulk isn't necessary since his preparation already has him ready for the division. Islam, what is your weight now? How much did your weight change and how did your physical condition, your physical preparation change? Up until last camp, I think my weight was about 83-84. But now with the right regimen, with the right diet, my weight is now 86.5. Yesterday was 86 and A2. I think right now I'm where I need to be. I'm at the right weight. I'm at the place where I feel comfortable with working out, sparring, and in working with the guys that usually fight at 77. To continue to gain the weight from now on is not necessarily the goal of mine. I mean, it might go up by 1 to 2 kilograms in training still, but we already done plenty of work during this camp with heavy weights to make sure to gain the proper weight that we need. Islam also spoke about the possibility of dropping back down after his first fight at welterweight. He admitted that making 155 had always been difficult and said the choice would come down to how his body felt afterward if he continued fighting around 85 to 86 kilos. He explained his team would have to think carefully about what direction to take next. Would you ever consider going back down to lightweight? Because, with everything you said, most likely cutting weight is going to be only harder. Depends on how much weight I'll gain after the fight. So if I'm going to go up to 83 or 84, that's possible. But if we'll go up to 85-86, then I'm not sure. I mean, it was never an easy thing to cut weight. So, we'll have to sit down with the team and, we'll have to figure out what the next move is. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria was recently questioned about Makhachev's move to welterweight and a possible clash with Della Maddalena, but he brushed it off. He made it clear the matchup didn't concern him and admitted he had no interest in thinking about it. How do you think Islam Makhachev will do at 170 when he fights Jack Delana? I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I never thought about that. So, I don't know. Ilia Topuria offered Della Maddalena some pointers for dealing with Makhachev. He recommended targeting the body with straight punches to discourage Islam from shooting. Topuria believed that consistent body work could limit Makhachev's wrestling and added that he admired Jack's overall striking style and approach in fights. Have any advice for Jack, who might be coming up against Islam? The advice, like, he has to work the straight body shots because that takes away the intentions of the takedown. If he works with the straight body shots, he's going to stop his intentions of the takedowns, and he's doing a great job at striking. I like how he fights. Former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira viewed Della Maddalena as a serious threat because of his patient style, noting how he wore down Muhammad over time rather than rushing for a finish. Still, he expected Makhachev to benefit from the move up in weight, believing the added strength would enhance its grappling. Olive saw the fight hinging on whether Jack could avoid being grounded long enough to use his striking or if Islam's control on the mat would take over. I'll spook. Meanwhile, Daniel Cormier described a clash between Della Maddalena and Makhachev as a thrilling high-stakes matchup. He said Jack's form made this fight even more intriguing given that Islam had yet to test himself at welterweight. Cormier himself raised doubts about whether Bukac could cope with Jack's physicality. Noting Islam's slimmer frame, Daniel Cormier said, "It's a fantastic fight, a big-time fight. And if Jack Della looks the way he did against Ball, it's a very interesting matchup because we've never seen Islam compete at 170 pounds. We've never seen him go up to 15 pounds more. And yes, he's a big guy, but is he as big in stature as Jack Della Maddalena?" Daniel Cormier urged Makhachev to refine his wrestling ahead of a meeting with Della Maddalena. He observed that Jack had recently shown excellent takedown defense and reminded that Islam struggled at times to ground Dustin Poirier. For that reason, Cormier felt Islam would need sharper grappling to dictate the fight against someone as dangerous as Jack. Islam Jack is going to be a great fight, especially seeing Jack defend takedowns in the way that he did. And Islam, he struggled a little to take down Dustin Poirier. He didn't take him down as easily as he had taken down other guys. So, I think that for Makhachev, he needs to really lock in on getting that wrestling ready to fight a guy in Jack Delatino, who showed great takedown defense. And man, this dude's got some good boxing, especially when you're in tight with him. His hands are good and close. On the other hand, Sean Brady admitted he was rooting for Makhachev, viewing a matchup with him as a career-defining challenge and a chance to measure his grappling against the best. Still, when asked for a pick, he leaned toward Della Maddalena, saying the Aussie was being overlooked and had the skill set to surprise people. Selfishly for me, I would want Islam to win cause I want to fight Islam as for a legacy thing, and I think I can beat Islam. I think I can beat anybody in the world. And I want to grapple. I want my grappling to go against his grappling and see who's better, you know. I really would love for that to play out, but if I had to pick and I know Jack would be the underdog, I would pick Jack. Sean Brady felt Makhachev's decision to jump divisions at shaking things up. He mentioned that Islam and Ilia Topuria seem to be circling each other for a future clash, which could shape what happens next. In his view, a setback would push Islam back to lightweight, but a win could see him stay at welterweight temporarily. Perhaps defending the title a couple of times before giving it up or walking away from the sport. To be honest, Islam coming up is what kind of A up this whole division in the first place, you know. But you can't be mad at him. If I was in that situation, I'd probably be doing the same thing. But I know him and Topuria are trying to set something up. If he wins, I think he's staying at 170. I think the chances of him, if he loses him, there's a bigger chance of him going back down to 155 and then maybe them still doing that Ilia Topuria fight that's how.